Hey family, hey family. See if this is working properly. Haven't done this before on here. Can y'all hear me? Let's see. Can y'all hear me? Let me know. Give me a thumbs up. I'm gonna start in just a minute. Let's see. Happy Monday. Happy Monday, people. Just wanted to come on and share a little something that the Lord shared with me. It was actually yesterday. So I wanted to do this yesterday, but what had happened was, no, for real, yesterday I had some Caribbean food. Hey Quantavious, that's my dude. I see you all the time. You almost always comment on the reels. And so, hey brother. So yesterday I had some Caribbean food. Went down well. Tasted wonderful. But I started getting a headache after I ate it. And it's because it has MSG in it. So that had me down bad yesterday. But I'm here today. So I wanted to come on and talk to y'all about what the Lord has shared with me yesterday. So yesterday I wake up and I kept hearing, heavy is the head that wears the crown. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. And so I'm like, okay, Lord, what do you want to say about that? And so he started ministering to me about that phrase. I don't know where it originated from, but I know what he was sharing with me about heavy is the head that wears the crown. Holy Spirit started ministering to me about being very careful about how we judge our leaders, being very careful about what we're saying about our leaders, because we have no idea what it's like to bear the burden of wearing the crown of leadership. And so he brought to my remembrance the story about Moses, Miriam, and Aaron. So I'll give y'all a quick refresher. This can be found, I want to say in Numbers 12. In Numbers 12. Give me 1 second. I'm pretty sure that's where it is. Numbers 12. Yep. So in Numbers 12, Miriam and Aaron had a problem with Moses' wife. She was a Cushite woman, and they didn't appreciate that. And so they were griping between one another about Moses having this Cushite wife. So they're like, Miriam's like, does God not speak to us? And I'm sure Aaron had influence, Aaron had respect with the people of Israel, because Aaron acted as, quote unquote, a prophet to Moses. Moses acted as God, and then he was his mouthpiece because Moses could not speak well. And so now they're amongst themselves. Moses doesn't know what's going on behind his back, but they were criticizing and they were kind of puffed up because it's like, well, the Lord talks to us too. And guess what God did? He called him on the carpet right in front of Moses. Hey, all three of y'all, come on out here. I got something to say. So he said, hey, I talk to Moses in a different way than I speak to y'all. I'll talk to a prophet in dreams and in visions, but I talk to Moses face to face. So why do you think it's okay? Why do you think it's okay to come out your lips talking about the one that I chose? Yeah, they weren't expecting that. So they ended up, hey Sandra, so they ended up in trouble with God because they were running their mouth against the leader. Now, I'm sure that because of their inside look at Moses' life and at his leadership, they felt that they had a right to speak about certain things. I'm sure they had a particular insight, but they did not have the authority nor the position nor the responsibility that Moses had. And so they didn't have the right to be talking, complaining, criticizing about nothing. And so it got him in trouble with God. Miriam ended up with leprosy and cast out of the camp for a period of time. So that's the first instance. Next instance is King David. So King David took it upon himself to do a census. Now we're talking about the responsibility, and heavy is the head that wears the crown, right? So David took it upon himself to take a census of the nation of Israel. After he did this, he realized how wicked it was. Went to the Lord like, Lord, what in the world can I do to make this right with you? So the Lord gave him 3 choices of the punishment for what he had done. Now check it out. David was the one that made the decision to take that census. David was the one that acted wickedly. David was the one that had to choose what punishment would come upon not only him, but the children of Israel as well. And David had to bear the brunt of that decision. Okay? So this is a big deal. So the Lord said, hey, I'm giving you 3 choices. You can either take this, this, or this. And David's like, well, all of them bad, but I would rather fall into the hands of the living God than the hands of man. Perhaps the Lord will have mercy on me. And David's action and then his subsequent decision affected not only himself, but the entire nation of Israel. Thousands of people died because of his action and because of the subsequent decision he had to make because of that action. And so leaders, they bear a great responsibility that sometimes we can't conceive of. So it's easy to look at a situation that could be going on, and from the outside looking in, we know exactly what to do. I know what to do. Oh, that's easy. Go ahead, kick them out the church. I know what to do. Go ahead, put them on blast. I know what to do. Go ahead, do X, Y, and Z. But they have to think about the ramifications, far-reaching. Not just the ramifications now, but the ramifications in the future. They are thinking of things outside the scope of what we have to think about because we don't wear that crown. We don't bear the responsibility of being in that position. And so I wanted to greatly caution you to be careful how you judge your leaders. It goes for wives. I'm going to talk to you about these husbands, because sometimes as a wife, it's hard to sit here and let the husband make the decision, especially when it's easy to see what decision should be made. Ask me how I know. When we see what decision should be made, or we think we know what decision should be made, right? But our husbands, as the leaders of our home, as the king and priest of our home, they have to bear the weight of the decision. Now, we may be affected by the decision, but at the end of the day, we are not going to stand before God and be judged because of the decisions that were made to lead that home and to lead that family. And so children, even adult children, be careful how you judge your parents, because it's easy to see what decisions should be made as a parent when you are not in that position. Single moms, children of single moms, be very careful how you judging that mama. Well, mommy should be doing that, mommy should be doing this, but guess what? Mommy is wearing in a position and wearing a crown that she shouldn't even have to wear by herself. She shouldn't have to do it by herself, but she is. And so some of the decisions that she makes, they may not make sense to you, but she is doing it with your best interests in mind. And so this is a caution to just be very careful about how you're judging leadership, because at the end of the day, you don't want to end up in trouble with God because you didn't put your mouth on a leader. You don't want to end up in trouble with God because you have criticized something that you have no knowledge of, the weight that that position holds, the weight that it carries, how much they have had sleepless nights praying for your behind, worried about you. But soon as something not going the way that you wanted to go, that mouth is going. And God sees everything. Because look, Miriam and Aaron, they were talking in secret. But nothing is secret before God. And so I'm saying it again. This is very redundant. But be careful about what you are saying in secret about leadership. Even goes for political leaders. What does the Lord tell us to do? To pray for them. And sometimes we don't want to pray for them because they do crazy stuff that affects us all. But if we prayed more, perhaps the decisions that they make would come out a little bit differently. So I just want to get on and share that with you all, because the Lord, he was ministering to me about it. And we all have to be careful of this. We all have to be careful of judging leadership when we should not, of putting our mouths on leadership when we should not. We don't know the weight. We don't know the weight. Even if you have a very close and intimate inside look, you're still not the one in it. You're still not the one that's going to answer for it at the end of the day. You're still not the one that's going to stand before God and be judged because of how you led a multitude of people. Now, some of you may be leaders. Some of you may be leaders. You may be leading your home. You may be leading your own ministries. But I'm saying every single one of us is up underneath somebody. So extend grace. Now, I'm not saying to make excuses for crazy people, for crazy leadership. But before you get to running off at your mouth, I encourage you to pray. And you can never go wrong with that. And let the Lord lead you and guide you into the way that you should handle a particular situation. Everything is not a one size fits all. But this right here, this is. Don't be running your mouth. That's the gist of it. Don't get in trouble with God because you wanted to criticize without having understanding. So I hope that this ministered to y'all. It ministered to me, okay? The Lord, He'll get me together real quick. And I appreciate it. I'd rather learn on the front end. I don't need no spanking from God. Because those right there, they hurt. I want to learn the easy way. So I figured that I would share the lesson with you all as well. So that's all that I have. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Remember that, okay, loves? I hope that you all are having a wonderful Monday. It's a busy day as usual, but it's all good. I'm blessed and grateful to be here. So I am going to go ahead and sign off.